What's up, ladies? It was a good day of paddling, and now let's do a video review. Over here we got Lena. So Lena, right off the bat, I need you to slow down this video. I want you to pause where your paddle's fully buried, right? What you will find is that when the blade's buried, your paddle is already negative. So you gotta have a little more patience in the catch. Make sure your paddle's fully buried. Establish a connection before you pull. Right now you're pulling too soon, right? You're anticipating the tip of your paddle touching the surface of the water, and then you're pulling back. And we look at Aisha. Aisha, I need you to look up, right? Too much focus on the paddle, right? You're just looking at the paddle. I need you to look up, look forward, focus on your inside hip. Right, we got Val over here. All right, same thing, Val. I need you to enter the water a little quicker, right? Find that connection. Make sure you're fully buried, right? Your elbow is a little low, right? Lift up the elbow a little bit, right? Focus on the outside shoulder, getting the paddle fully buried. Wendy over here, same thing. I need you to get that connection with the water. Make sure the blade's fully buried before you pull. All right, Heidi over here. Ken didn't get a good view of here. Let's talk about Cal then. All right, Cal, right? Recovery is too high. I want you to keep the paddle a little closer to the surface, right? When the paddle's in the air, keep it closer to the surface, right? You don't need to go so high. Right, kept the paddle closer to the surface of the water. Right now your fist is at the same height of your elbow, right? The fist should never be higher than the elbow, okay? Also extend that top hand a little further away from your head. Liz, right, gotta make sure. I need you to slow down this video. I want you to pause and see where your blade's fully buried, right? The paddle's negative. You gotta make sure the blade's fully buried up front before you pull. I'm probably nagging you right about now. And now it's looking a little better. So make sure your blade is fully buried up front before you pull, right? Have patience on that catch, right? Tori looking all right, right? Just try to get a little bit more rotation, right? At the exit, make sure your inside hip rotates back, right? Try and exit using your inside hip, right? You want to get that motion, right? So, yeah, so I'm nagging Liz right about now, right? Looking a little better. Make sure the blade's fully buried. Right, once you gotta find that connection, you gotta catch and then pull, catch and then pull. Right now you're catching and pulling at the same time. Two-step process, okay? Let's see what else. Yeah, so for Tori, right, I want you to just kind of look at how you initiate your exit right now. It's your arm that's initiating your exit, and your hip is kind of following your arm, your outside arm. Let's try reverse that, right? You gotta try and initiate your exit with your inside hip rotating back. Okay, Heather, right? A good view of your top arm, your top shoulder, right? It's very tight. It looks really tight. I need you to try relax that top arm, right? Focus on getting the blade fully buried with your outside shoulder, right? The top arm is just there to stabilize the paddle so it doesn't move, it doesn't flail all over. So make sure the paddle's fully buried and then focus on your inside hip rotating forward. Right now it's a lot of top arm, yeah, it's just your top hand driving down, and it's hard to get a good connection with that. Okay, let's take a look at Celia. Okay, we'll talk about Jen first. All right, Jen, so I need you to slow down this video. I want you to pause and see where your blade is fully buried and look at your paddle angle, right? It's negative when the blade is fully buried. I need you to have a little bit more patience on the catch, right? I need you to fully bury up front before you pull, right? Your bottom arm tends to break a little too soon as well. Keep it a little more straight. You want to experience tension in your bottom arm, right? So a little more patience in the catch, right? Make sure you're fully buried before you pull. Okay, Sarah, I need you to choke up with your bottom hand, right? One fist up from the blade. And yeah, let's work on that for. Yeah, I mean, yeah, body's moving all right. Same thing, right? I need you to, yeah, just choke up for now, right? Choke up on the paddle, right, Heather? So if you slow it down, Heather, right, you notice that most of your force is just generated from your top hand drive. I need you to secure the blade, make sure it's fully buried up front, and then get the inside hip rotating. Right now, there's very little hip movement, and we need to get the body involved, right? Let's try to get your body just accelerating forward, lunging forward, right? So Jen, right, I need you to make sure your blade's fully buried with your outside shoulder. Right now it's just kind of coming down, right? You're just kind of you're just kind of doing top hand drive down into the water, not really moving forward. Make sure you're fully buried, and then get the hip rotating forward. Okay. As for Celia, right, a little bit more rotation. I need to see that inside hip rotate back. And same thing, patience on the catch, ladies. You gotta have patience on that catch. Okay, let's see, who do we have here? We can look at Jen from the back. So Jen, look at how your bottom arm breaks, right? The elbow breaks. I need you to try keep it a little. You need a little more time in the water, a little more water time, and you get that by getting the blade fully buried up front. Right now, you're just coming down a little too soon, right? Look how it breaks. So slow down this video on YouTube. You can change the playback speed, and I need you to observe, right? And that goes for all of you too, right, ladies, right? Susanna, same thing, right? You're pulling back a little too soon. Right? All of you have to try and establish a connection with the water before you exert yourself, right? There's no point exerting yourself when you got no connection with the water. You're just kind of like, not getting the most of your force and your energy, right? Shona looks all right. Your outside shoulder looks a bit tight. Outside shoulder looks a bit tight, right? You want to make sure when you get the paddle fully buried, your shoulder stays forward. It's your hip that moves towards the shoulder. Right now, it looks like your shoulder is moving back towards your seat. You want to move the seat, right? You want to move the boat towards your outside shoulder, okay? But, nice rotation, looking good. Catch looks all right too. So there's just something to work on, right? For you, it's try relax that outside shoulder a bit, Shona. Easier said than done. Okay, so we can look at Heather over here as well. Right, Heather, look at how your top hand just kind of hits. It's like hitting the ground. It just kind of slams and slams, right? Like what Kamini says, it must be like a French press kind of motion. Sharon, right? Same thing. You just there's no catch, right? You're kind of coming down too soon. You're pulling back too soon. I need you to try establish a connection with the water up front, right? I probably said something over here, and it is looking better right now. So hey, you can do it. You just need to remind yourself, right? Make sure your paddle is fully buried, right? Reach a little further forward but deeper, right? Make sure you establish a connection with the water by making sure the blade's fully submerged before you pull back. Okay? So over here you can see Lauren, right? Lauren, I need you to find a little bit more balance, right? I want you to lean on the paddle, right? Same thing, Lauren. I need you to, take a look at where your blade's fully buried and look. Okay, so let's watch me paddle, right? See what I'm doing, right? I want you all to kind of look at my exit over here. I think you got a pretty good view. Where watch how my wrist kind of curls, right? It curls the paddle in. I rotate my wrist in towards my body. My elbow flares out, right? And my hip, it's really my hip that initiates my exit. So take a look at my exit, right? How my hips are moving, how my hands are moving, my elbow, my wrists, right? My joints. I really want you to observe my exit. The one thing that I've been working on is my catch, right? So look how you can still see white on my blade, right? Because I'm not fully buried up front. So that's something that every paddler will always be working on. Work on that catch. Okay, thanks.